guys, ya estás to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today we're making a delicious dessert that is perfect for any holiday table, for any special event. It's just a handful of ingredients. It's so decadent and delicious. We're making chocolate hazelnut baklava pie. So basically you can use any of your favorite Nutella or chocolate hazelnut spreads as the filling. Then you can have some phyllo, syrup, and just a few other ingredients. So easy to make, and oh my God, it's so delicious. Let's get started. So as with any syrupy dessert, we're gonna start with the syrup, which is really simple. I have a cup of granulated sugar in a small saucepan. To that, I'm gonna add some water and I'm gonna bring it to a boil. I'm gonna mix it all together as well. And as soon as the sugar dissolves, once it boils, I'm gonna take it off of the heat and stir in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You want the syrup to be nice and cool, so that way when the baklava comes out of the oven and it's nice and hot, you pour the cooled syrup on top and everything stays nice and crisp. All right, so now we're gonna put the pie together, and it doesn't get easier than this. All you need is some phyllo. Number 4 phyllo is best for this. Make sure that you thaw it out overnight in the refrigerator, then take it out and put it on the counter for at least 1 to 2 hours. If it's at room temperature, it's going to be very easy to work with. We just need 8 sheets. You can put a few more if you want, if you like more phyllo in your dessert, but 8 is a good amount. Okay, so make sure your oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I have a stick of unsalted butter that I've melted, and I'm just going to brush the butter onto the pie pan. I have a 10-inch, this is actually 9.5 inch. You could use a 9-inch, a 9.5, or a 10-inch pie pan. Whatever you have will work out. And we're gonna layer 4 sheets on the bottom, and we're gonna drizzle butter in between each layer as usual. And this, if they're stuck together, don't try to separate them. If you get an extra sheet, it's not a big deal. Now I also have some toasted ground hazelnuts over here, and I'm just going to sprinkle about a tablespoon between each layer. You can use walnuts. You can even just leave the nuts out if you want. Actually, you don't have to butter the last sheet. Now I have 2 containers of chocolate hazelnut spread. Use your favorite. I have a really good recipe if you want to make your own and you want to make it more gourmet. But if you're keeping it simple, this is great as a last-minute dessert. If you have to bring something to a party and you don't know what to bring this. I'm going to pop this in the microwave for about 20-30 seconds. That's going to make it very easy to pour into the pie pan. Now you can make this as rich or as less rich. This is still going to be rich. So depending on how much Nutella or chocolate hazelnut spread you're going to fill the center with will determine how decadent this is going to be. I like to use 1.5 of these containers, and each one of these has 13 ounces or 369 grams. It's up to you how thick you want to make this with chocolate. Here's 1 can or 1 jar, and we'll do a little bit more. That looks good. So if you want to get creative, you can put some banana slices in there if you like the combination of banana and Nutella. You could throw some more nuts on top if you like a more crunchy, hearty filling, but I like to keep the filling nice and smooth and chocolatey. So now I'm just going to put some butter around the edges of the phyllo. Okay, now take all of the phyllo that's hanging outside of the pan and go ahead and just fold it over the filling. And then each time you fold over, just drizzle some butter on top. So now the top is going to get 4 more layers, and we're going to drizzle butter between each layer. And as you're putting them on top, go ahead and tuck them in as well, so that way you can create a nice outer crust. Get lots of butter all over the top and the sides so it crisps up and has lots of flavor. And now I'm just going to score it into 8 pieces. You can score it into little diamond shapes if you want, but I like it to be like a pie. And then once it's baked, if your guests want a smaller piece, as long as it's cooled down properly, it's pretty easy to slice. So now I'm going to take this excess phyllo, the phyllo that's left over, wrap it up and keep it in this plastic wrap for now. And then once I'm done with the pie, and once the pie is in the oven, I'm just gonna wrap this up in some foil or some more plastic wrap, and it can go back in the fridge for about a week. Use it for anything else. The oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This is gonna go in and bake for about 45 minutes to an hour until it's really nice and golden. As soon as it comes out of the oven, you wanna pour that cooled syrup, all of it, on top. It's gonna absorb, and the phyllo is gonna become sticky and crisp and sweet, and it's gonna be perfect. But then the hardest part of all is waiting for it to cool down. You wanna make sure that it's cooled completely before you serve it, and when it gets there, I'll show you what it looks like. So the baklava is ready for the taste test. Once it comes out of the oven, again, pour the cooled syrup on top, and then let it sit for at least an hour. It is better if this sits for more than that, maybe 2 or 3 hours, so that way the chocolate can also have time to set. Otherwise, it's gonna be really messy when you go to serve it. It is time to take a bite of this delicious thing. And there's really no fancy way to eat this without getting full of chocolate. Oh my God. I feel like we need music in the background for this one. So delicious. The nut layer on the bottom is so crunchy and good. The phyllo, again, very crispy, flaky, sticky, sweet. That filling is so creamy and chocolatey and just full of hazelnut flavor. This one is gonna become a family favorite for sure. All of the exact measurements are in the description box down below. The printable version of this recipe is on dimitrasdishes.com. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section if you have any special requests. And if you wanna learn how to make more delicious phyllo desserts, click over here and I'll see you right over there. Yes,